Hello there, welcome to Talking Balearics with me, Martin Makepeace, and I am actually in Ibiza this week.
Get the bunting out.
Well,
there's a bit of street party for you.
Not really, mate. There was a few tuts and a few scowls when I walked into Seaboat the other day. That was about it. So
funny that. Welcome back.
Thank you, mate. It was a long time. It only took me 5 days to get back, Rich. So here I am anyway.
5 days. Where did you go? You went a few cities, didn't you?
I went Perth to Sydney, Sydney to Los Angeles, Los Angeles to JFK. New York to London, London to Alicante, Alicante to Ibiza. There you go, mate. It's easy, isn't it? Easy.
Listen, and when Martin says it's your round, tell him, nah, come on, mate, it must be yours. The amount of money you got.
That's the winter budget out the wonder, Rich. Anyway, so but it's great to be back, Rich, and good to see you as well, mate.
Good, mate. All good. What you got for me?
I've got another slow news week. That's what I've got, Rich. Really? But,
yeah, you're not wrong.
No, I mean, there's plenty around there. There's plenty happening, mate. But it's all not very. I don't know. It's like the calm before the storm, isn't it? So, but I've got 3 things for you, Rich. I blogged today. I have there. Let's talk about housing for a change, because we don't talk about that very often, do we? So we've got housing and something big's happening, Rich. I think finally, they've woken up and smelled the coffee, and housing's there. We've also got a strike. We've got a big strike happening in Ibiza Hospital, which I'll go into a little bit more detail. Which is it's kind of linked to what we always talk about. I mean, it's been brewing for a while, Rich. It really has. So let's go into a little bit of detail on that, and also a little bit of clubbing. There's something that's good for our age group, Rich, which is moving venues, and it's quite exciting. So a little bit of clubbing. So they're my 3 things this week, Richie. What have you got for me?
I've got more details about bookings. Bookings are definitely up. I've got that story. I've also got some of the attractions here in Mallorca when they're reopening.
Yeah.
Because that's key to obviously people coming over at Easter time. And I've got a super yacht with a beach club actually on the super yacht. How about that?
Okay, that sounds interesting. Have you got an invite?
I drove past it this morning actually on my way to work.
And can you confirm there is a beach club on it?
No, I couldn't see that far. It was quite a long. It's quite a long. I wasn't that close to it. You know what I mean? I drove past on my jet ski. No.
Oh, as you do, mate, as you do.
Yeah.
Richard, let's go to the housing crisis first, because it's something we talk about a lot, isn't it? Housing, because it's been brewing for many years. In fact, I checked my notes and I wrote about this problem in 2017. So that's 9 years ago now. I wrote about this problem. So I know the wheels move slowly at this part of the world, but it's a bit ridiculous. But what's happened, and it's not rocket science, is the hotels can't find any accommodation. So they are now changing their lower end accommodation into staff accommodation, which makes perfect sense on one part, but on another part, not so much, because it's squeezing the middle market. So what you've got, for instance, Vibra Hotels, they've got a few old, they're the biggest hotel operator on the island. They've got thousands of beds over here. They've got many hotels, and what they've done is they're lower end of the market. They're hostel, so to speak. Don't forget, hostel in Spain is not hostel in the UK. Hostel in Spain is a basic hotel. Hostel with an EL at the end, not an AL at the end. Hostel. And what they've done is they've converted one of their hostels into staff accommodation. They've put 12 apartments in there, and they said it's going to be for 30 staff members. Also, they are now converting another one of their hostels into another one, but that won't be ready for next year. So it just shows you that sooner or later, something I've been going on about for years, Rich. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? Oh, come on. If you've got a big operation on the island and you can't house your staff, what are you going to do? You're going to have to solve the equation yourself. You can't just rely on hopefully they'll get somewhere, because if you can't find staff, Rich, you can't staff the hotel. And if you can't staff the hotel, you cease operations, or you don't maximize your assets, so to speak. So that's good news there. Also, there's more news on the hotel front over here. Remember, we talked about the Hard Rock Hotel. That has been upgraded. It's now called the Bless. Let me get this right. The Bless the Site Hotel. Okay, Bless is their ultra 5-star product. There's already one in Escanal, San Chilalli away. So the Bless the Site. Also, they're changing the Palladium in San Antonio to, let me get this right. I want to get this name right. It's going to be called
Only because you got a freebie. You know what I mean? That's why.
It's going to be called Only You brand, right?
Only you.
Only you can make this. Anyway, so what we've got, Rich, is you've got the hostels, which is now being converted to staff accommodation. You've got all the 3s and 4 stars being upgraded to 5-star accommodation because that's where the money is. So where's the 3 and 4 stars? Where the 2 and 3 stars, should we say? That's a thing. So really, you've got your bottom end of the market, which is going to staff, and you've got your top end of the market, but there is no mid-market. Now, as you know yourself, Rich, mid-market is where the volume is. It's where the money is, okay, or where it used to be anyway. I think it's the 5-star. But the hotel sector have said that there's no real business in the mid-market, so they are now focusing on the ultra-luxury end. So in one part, that's really good, and on the other part, it's challenging. Also, another one before I'll hand over to you, Rich, is what they've said as well is that just because what you're going to talk about in a minute, which is going to be the uptick for bookings into Spain because of the problems in the Gulf and in the Middle East, is that they're saying, yeah, but we've got increased costs with fuel and groceries and stuff we talk about this week. So just because we're going to get more bookings coming in, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make more money. So it's a really interesting time, Rich. I mean, the hotel sector in Ibiza has radically changed over the last 10 years, radically changed. And you can see where it's going. 1 star is being converted to cheap accommodation for staff and workers and people who are here. Mid-market is almost disappearing, and the rest are changing to 5-star because that's where they think the money's at.
I think we talked about before, Mark, if you remember, that the hotels in Magaluf, there's about 80% of hotels in Magaluf are now 4 or 5-star. Yeah. We don't have, 3-star bucket and spade that we used to all sort of remember back in the day. It doesn't really exist much anymore.
No.
And that's the way, you've just mentioned Ibiza, and Mallorca is going exactly the same way.
No, it is, Rich. I think all over because that the interesting thing about this report is saying that they're not even looking at the average daily rate anymore because they're just looking at the staff are happy, get them sorted. It's a fluid pricing policy anyway at the best of times. So, if it's busy, the prices go up. It's a bit like EasyJet and Ryanair. If it's busy, the prices go up. If it's quiet, the prices come down. So if you are looking for a holiday and you want a deal, then look out of season. It's as simple as that. But if you can only come peak season, you are going to be paying plenty. And if you want to go to a 5-star hotel, we've already got the most expensive hotels in Spain, Rich, in Ibiza. And I don't think Mallorca's far behind, to be honest. So it's only going in one direction, isn't it?
It is, and I think you just said that they converted the 1-stars, the hostels, etc., into staff accommodation. The only way the prices are going to go is up, and the only person that's going to be paying that is us, the consumer, because that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? No one else is going to pay for it, and that's the way they're looking at it. They obviously think that is going to, that is going to be the future of the resort.
But Rich, I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, this is great. There's loads of 5-star hotels being opened. There's loads of choice. So I was like, listen, you've got loads of choice now when you come to Ibiza or Magaluf or wherever. But actually, it's tipped the scale again now because we've almost got too many 5-stars or too many 4-stars because, where's the mid-market? And I've written about the mid-market many a times. That's where the volume comes from. That's where, as you said, the bucket and spade people who want to come over, they don't want to spend a fortune on the hotel because they want to go out and eat and drink and sample. What those hotels do, those 5-star hotels, they tend to retain their clients because that's all they've got. And they have to make the most out there. They have to rinse those clients. I mean that in a nice way, with F&B, food and beverage, offering spas, offering all different products to them. Whereas for the island in general, your mid-market 2s and 3 stars, by far the best. They always have been, but the scales have been tipped, I'm afraid.
Well, with that in mind, Martin, you just mentioned it a bit earlier on in what you were talking about, the rise in hotel bookings. Bookings to Portugal have risen by over 42% in the 2 weeks up to the 13th of March. Bookings to the Balearics have risen by 40% over the last 2 weeks, and bookings to the Canary Islands by 16%. Steve Heapy, the Jet2 boss, said people weren't booking trips to Cyprus and Turkey, and cancellations are up, he said. Mallorca is one of the top Easter holiday destinations for British and German tourists. Even before the start of the Iran conflict, hoteliers were confident of a good period. There are fears, though, that the cost of Mallorca holidays could rise as a result of higher oil prices. Also, the local tourist industry is concerned of the big rises in the cost of basic essentials, as we know. I mean, I think I mentioned this last week in my blog. In the pod last week, that I normally fill up with €50 worth of petrol on a weekly basis. I was getting 600 last week. It was down to 530. I filled up yesterday 480.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's 120 euros. 120 kilometers gone in 2 weeks. It's and it's only going to get worse. And then obviously, if you look at the front page of the El Temora, which is the Spanish newspaper this morning, the hauliers are an up in arms, obviously, over the price of diesel and oil, etc. Are asking for help from the government. So, are we going down the same route as we went, if you remember? In the pandemic, that we were, there was subsidised petrol prices. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, I know, Richie. As I said last week, the crisis in the Gulf and the Middle East is going to have a lot of knock-on effects over here. And the Hotel Federation have said it themselves over here. They said, great, listen, we're happy to accept bookings and, let's make the most of it. However, just because we're getting more bookings doesn't mean we're making more money because the costs have gone up. However, if the costs go up and you're getting more bookings, it kind of compensates that way. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's interesting, Rich, that the BBC picked up on this as well. I mean, we've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks now, haven't we? So, we're scooping the big boys yet again, aren't we, on Talking Balearics? But basically reported yesterday, so I got sent 2 or 3 times on a WhatsApp saying, BBC reporting that because of Dubai are struggling, then the Balearic Islands are really coming up, and it's quite a shocking amount. You said 42%. Did you say for Portugal? I mean, that's
42 and 40 for the Balearics. Yeah,
it's a hell of an uptick, isn't it? Really. So it's. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it. But
I think also you've got to remember that Easter we're not fully ramped up either. So that percentage is a little bit higher than it probably would be if it was in the summer when all the hotels were open. Not every hotel is going to be open over the Easter period because some are going to wait until May because they don't want the period between the end of Easter till the start of May. That period where they've got a lot of people on contract are paying them for basically no return, if the truth be known. So let's see. If this is the game, but I think we'd all rather have the level playing field. We're all in it for together, and there wouldn't be any war going on. I think that's probably what everybody would prefer.
Yeah, but all that glitters isn't gold. Just because we might get a little uptick doesn't mean that it's better for the Balearics in general anyway. But let's hope all the problems solve themselves out quickly and we can get back to normal. But I think the actual fuel cost is going to be the biggest thing this year, isn't it, Rich? Because it's going to affect everyone every time. And as I said, you said yourself, I love the way that you base it on your kilometres. You don't base it on litres. You don't base it on money. It's like
litres and money. Forget it, mate. But interesting enough, Mark, I think what we should also think about is that a lot of the airlines, don't forget, put their price in for the whole year. Normally, they've priced in that what they think their costs are going to be. So that's already in their budget. So it'll probably go back to what the Chancellor said, that they don't want people profiteering off other people's losses, if that makes sense. Let's see.
But they do, Rich. Don't they? They do, don't they?
I'm trying to be, diplomatic here.
And also, it actually takes several weeks for the actual price to drip down and affect the pumps, but not for the petrol companies. They put it up straight away, don't they? So
exactly.
Blatant profiteering. What I've always said in Ibiza that we've got a great medical system. I was with my mum when she went through the medical system in the UK hospitals. I can't say it was bad, but it definitely wasn't good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's always a bit of a mixed bag. You're never quite sure what you're going to get. I've always thought Balearic healthcare has been very good, Rich. I've always thought it's been really good. I think we get served really well. In fact, I always remember a friend of mine's mum being ill in hospital over here, and I was kind of helping out a bit. And she said, they've just given me tests in the Ibiza hospital, which I've had to wait 18 months for in the UK. So, our doctors and nurses do a great job in Ibiza, but they've had enough, Rich. They're on strike in all but name, and they're really upset. I've got to tell you, they're really upset. And this time, Rich, it's not even about the housing, although the housing crisis doesn't get a free ticket on this one. They mention it as well, but they're just saying the doctors are saying they're working unlimited extra hours. They're being poorly compensated for overtime. They're operating under constant stress, and they're just seeing too many patients in a small amount of time frame. So they're actually on strike outside the hospital at the moment, and more or less all the appointments are being cancelled. So it's quite worrying times in Ibiza. I'm talking about the National Health Hospital here.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Camises. It's in Ibiza town. It was brand new about 7 or 8 years ago. Absolutely brand spanking new, state of the art. But the doctors have had enough, mate, and they said that basically the doctors are moving into private healthcare, which is probably not always the case. They're leaving Spain altogether, or they're just leaving the profession because they just can't seem to make it work for them, and they're burnt out. So, not great news, Rich, because as I said, I've always thought we've had a great medicine and healthcare system in Ibiza, but at the moment they're in trouble, pal. Let's see what happens, and hopefully they're going to find a way forward very shortly.
Yeah, it's not an easy situation. I do have a relationship with Sonis Basses, which is the public hospital here. I've raised some funds for them in different areas, and I think every hospital is going through the same thing, really, to be perfectly honest. Let's hope they can get that sorted as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Let me talk to you about this because I rode past this boat this morning. I went, blimey, that's a big one. This was early this morning when I went off. You don't hear
that very often, Rich.
No, not in my world. But 138 meter super yacht. It's called the motor yacht Luminance. It's owned by Ukraine's richest man.
Luminance.
It's just moored off Puerto Portales at the moment. She features a steel hull, aluminium superstructure, and accommodates 40 guests in 20 suites with 24 crew.
Right.
She's owned by this Ukrainian billionaire called Rinat Armetov, and the yacht is valued at $500 million.
Wow.
It features a beach club and an infinity pool, a gym, a spa, a high-speed elevator for accessibility, and basically it's an all singing, all dancing. This bloke owns Shakhtar Donetsk, the football club.
Right, okay. Yeah. I'm looking at the picture online. It's got a beautiful pool on the back. I'm not sure about a beach club, Rich. I mean, what can you define a beach club on a boat for me?
Well, no, not really, because I can't see any pictures. It doesn't show me any pictures of the actual beach club. I'll try and see if I can find more about it, if the truth be known. But as I say, it's more just off of Puerto Portales at the moment. You can see it quite clearly, because it's that big. Do you know what I mean? And,
it's actually it's out in the water, is it, Rich?
Yeah, it's not. It can't get in the harbour.
Too big, mate. Too big.
It is. So
it's blue. It's a nice blue colour as well, by the looks of it, isn't it? Nice. Yeah,
nice. Well, it was dark. It was dark when I was going past it this morning, unfortunately. So
see, it's got a big helipad on the back as well, isn't it?
So, of course.
Yeah. But you know what that means, Rich? It's nearly summer, isn't it? Because
exactly
the money is now coming into the islands, isn't it?
Exactly.
And what we got 12 days till Easter. What we on now? So we're on the.
Can I just say about it's a big thing? Obviously, this weekend for us here is St. Patrick's weekend. We celebrate that over in Santa Ponsa, which is obviously the big resort just the other side of me. Well, I'm in Santa Ponsa, but Magaluf, Palma, over there in Santa Ponsa. It's a big Irish fraternity that sort of live and work in Santa Ponsa. So this coming weekend, the Town Hall have organised big activity from 10 in the morning till 7 at night. There's a market, activities for kids, blow up castles. There's a what do you call it? I can't think of the word. What's the word? A parade. Yeah. And also they've got bands playing all the way through the afternoon, from 1 o'clock in the afternoon all the way through until the Raggle Taggle Gypsies play at 8:30 on Sunday evening. So it's fantastic. It's in the Gran Via, which most people will know is the big drag leading up to the top of Santa Ponsa, where all the sort of main Irish bars are and everything else. So if you go to calvia.com, you'll find out more details about that's happening, of course, this coming Sunday, because it's, as we know, it's St. Patrick's Day today, which is the day that we recorded the show, Tuesday the 17th of March. But the Town Hall is celebrating it, as I say, for a few days afterwards.
Two things, Rich. I was embedded on this last weekend, and it was absolutely jam-packed. I mean, on Sunday when I left it felt like mid-August. It really did. It was honestly, the weather was good, which always helps, doesn't it? So, but the Cheltenham week, and they've really. I was talking to Julian Colby from SIBO the other day about it, and we were saying that they've really cultivated that market probably in the last 2 or 3 years only. I mean, I think people were going, weren't they, before that? And it was in the UK press this year saying that, rather than go and spend all the money at Cheltenham, they'd rather go to Benidorm in the sunshine. And obviously, Paddy's Day today. I was going to go back over today, but fortunately, I've got to do some work, which is a little bit annoying.
Blimey, steady on, mate.
I know, a bit annoying. So it's something I couldn't get out of. So, but no, they do it very well. Also, I had a good friend of mine, John Anderson, was over in Mallorca at the weekend, and he said it was absolutely jam-packed at the weekend. Palmer, I'm talking about. Sorry.
Yeah,
Palmer said it was really, really busy. And he also said to me that thing that we've spoken about a long time. He said he couldn't believe how many North American accents he was listening to and hearing. So, it's interesting times, mate, isn't it? Where the market is proliferating a little bit. And also, we just need to look for new avenues, don't we, really? It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, listen, Mark, if you go back to how it all started for us way back in the early 90s, do you know what I mean? And where sort of tourism has come over the last sort of 35 years or so, it's changed so dramatically.
So much. I mean, it's just the whole concept of, it's not even traveling anymore. It's popping away for a few days, isn't it? Back in the day, we used to travel places, for a week. Now it's 2 or 3 days there. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Rich, there is another new flight about to be announced coming to Mallorca. If I'm not mistaken, I listened to that the other day. So have a look at that for me, because I think you're going to find you're going to have a lot of direct flights in from North America this year to Mallorca. So
okay.
Yeah. I'll get the details on that. Last one from me, Rich. We've got Children of the 80s, which is because it's I mean, straight away you've perked up there, haven't you? Children of the 80s. Saw that look on your face. They did a great night in Hard Rock Hotel, which is now being changed to the Bless the site hotel. So they've changed to Amnesia. So this is
interesting.
This is a really interesting concept, because if I've got this right, and I was reading up on it this morning, it says that they're starting at 7:30 on the terrace at Amnesia. Okay, which kind of makes sense, because what it will get is an early crowd, mainly Spanish market, mainly our age, probably from 45 to 60, who like that kind of music. They do some great, it's really the 80s music, the 90s music. And I might be wrong, but it says in the paper today it starts at 7:30 on the terrace of Amnesia. So if that's the case, that's very brave, that is, Rich, because obviously, it'll be outside. The atmosphere will be great. And they've also changed the name. You like this name, Rich, right? So it was Children of the 80s. So it's now called Rememberland.
No, that's not a great name, is it?
So it's not Wonderland. Offense. It's not Tomorrowland. It's now Rememberland. So, but again, to be fair, all joking aside, our listening demographic is probably more closer to our age. So they might be interested in Rememberland Amnesia this year. So that's one to look out for.
A couple of things that I should mention also, you were talking music. As I say, we don't mention music too much here in Mallorca as much as you do in Ibiza. But Fatboy Slim is coming to Mallorca on the 3rd of July at SRD, which is the venue just outside of Magaluf, where they do Mallorca Live, and then they sort of take down the big stages outside in the car park and put them into SRD itself. And also the Cores are coming as well on the 15th of August. Caroline Core's birthday today, actually, weirdly enough, on St. Patrick's Day.
I always had a thing for Caroline Core. I'm right with that. I think everyone did, didn't they? So.
That's no surprise.
Yeah.
So those are two big music things that are coming to us. Also, some of the attractions that are opening up, because obviously we get ready for Easter. Pirates, obviously where I used to work, Pirates opens on the 1st of April. It's Pirates Adventure Show. They have the Family Rave opening on Thursday the 2nd. They have another adventure show on the Friday, and then Gringos opens up on the Saturday. And then Reloaded opens up, I think it's Friday the 20... Hang on a minute, I'm just checking now. Friday the 24th of April for Reloaded, which is their adults only show as well. Oh, sorry, Friday the 25th of April. I got that wrong. Friday the 25th of April for Reloaded.
Sorry. It's all starting to come together, Rich, isn't it? Because everyone's all of a sudden Easter's just round the corner, so everything is just getting ready. I think middle of March, everyone starts getting ready. Don't they? I've got the painters and decorators in my house today, mate, getting ready for this summer. So
I should say Saturday the 25th. Not I can't say another day and then keep it the same day. Saturday the 25th for Pirates Reloaded. Yep. Next week I'll give you all the water parks and everything where they're all opening up as well. But let's finish today on a bit of football, because good news for Mallorca. We're out of the relegation zone. It's been a good start for Martin Di Michelis in charge at Real Mallorca. Draw 2-2 away at Osasuna last weekend. This weekend, the weekend just gone, played Espanyol, who were sixth in the league, and went 1-0 down at half-time and thinking, oh, here we go. And it all turned on a sending off, actually, that not many people noticed. People noticed the foul, and he was given a yellow card, but then he was asked to go to the VAR and have a look at it. It did take quite a long time, to be honest, to actually come to a decision where he did. And the guy got a red card. Now, interestingly enough, the guy who got the red card was the guy that scored, and his name is Pickle.
Charlie Pickle.
Right, old Pickle.
Charlie Pickle, I like it, mate. Charlie Pickle.
It was Pickle. It's spelled slightly differently with an EL instead of an LE, but his name was Charlie Pickle. Yeah, he scored and got sent off. And then after that, we got a little bit of a controversial goal, another one that went to VAR. They thought was a free kick on the outside of the box by Samu Costa, but Pablo Torre then rifled it home. And then Samu Costa got a goal within the last 10 minutes to get Mallorca 2-1. So we are out of the relegation zone. The slight problem is we keep talking about Levante and Oviedo down. Well, Oviedo won at the weekend, and Levante got a draw last night, actually. So it's starting to sort of scrum up at the bottom. Oviedo are bottom on 21 points. Levante second bottom, 23. Elche, 26th. Got 26 points. They're in third bottom. Then you've got Alaves on 28, Mallorca on 28, and then a short gap of 3 points to Sevilla on 31. Mallorca play Elche this weekend away. So that is a definite relegation six-pointer.
It really is a six-pointer, that one, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
I mean, it's good. But, I mean, great. What's that, 4 points out of 6? Should have been 6 out of 6, really.
It should really.
But I did. Really. I saw that 88th minute goal, and I did think of you at the weekend, Rich, thinking, wow, you really are you're getting out of jail here, aren't you?
We did go a bit mad, to be honest with you. And just to remind people out there, because these tickets won't be out there for much longer, Mallorca play Real Madrid on Saturday, the 4th of April, at 4:15 in the afternoon.
That's Easter Saturday.
Easter Saturday,
isn't it? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, the reason is because it's Champions League the following week. So obviously, if Madrid do their business tonight against Manchester City,
which they will do.
That's why they've moved the game. It wasn't going to be on the Sunday. They've moved it to the Saturday, just in case, obviously, Madrid do get through tonight, which I think they probably will do. Yeah. Tickets, they're not cheap, but there's not many left, to be honest with you.
How much are they, Rich, out of interest? Give me a ballpark figure.
€220.
As you know, it's not bad. Listen, it is what it is. I bought a ticket for my lad to the Madrid Man City game the other day. It was 175, which I thought was okay, actually. I didn't think that was
not too bad.
You know, to see the top teams in Spain, you're always paying around about €200, whether you like it or not. So it's not too bad. And if anyone wants a ticket, have you got any available?
670-704-311.
Clang. Yeah, of course.
And listen, by the way, I do have 2 VIP tickets available, slightly more expensive than that, if anybody wants them as well. You know.
Perfect. A great plug as always, Richard.
And as they say outside the tube stations, I'll buy any spares.
Thank you, Stan Flashman.
You're welcome.
Right, Rich. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, beautiful day here in Mallorca. It's probably the same in Ibiza.
Absolutely. It's incredible. I was actually by the pool yesterday for the first time.
Yeah, nice.
Mate. It was absolutely wonderful, mate. So
and I saw your boy DJ, Mark, the other day.
Yeah, DJ. Yeah, he's getting some good exposure now. Yeah, he's just putting a party on. I was just talking to Ithaca yesterday, which is a bar in San Antonio, and he's doing a party there. They open on the 2nd of April, so you know it's all kicking off, mate. I think we've got 2 weeks to Easter, haven't we? Really, and then we'll do our Easter edition, where Easter it all comes alive. It really does.
He's not doing any 80th birthdays like me, then, no? He's not doing anything like that. No?
I don't think that's his wheelhouse, Rich. But you know, does he confirm the booking for the 80th?
Oh yeah.
Is it confirmed?
Not quite. It's nearly there, I think.
Have you put in your rider? You know, you want kind of.
Oh yeah, there's a rider. There's definitely a rider in there.
It's got to be a rider there, haven't you? I mean, come on, Rich.
Yeah.
You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. You know, you've got to be paying proper money for
exactly.
DJs, haven't you?
Exactly. Bottles of oxygen, Mark. That's all we'll need.
Haribo sweets and a Coca-Cola, please.
Exactly.
Get me through the night.
All right, Mark. Take care.
Great to see you, Rich.
And you, mate.
Make me dance.